This is the Stock Day Podcast, sponsored by InvestorsHangout.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube to stay up to date on penny stock news and interviews. Public information on OTC, pink sheets, and microcap stocks from around the world. Here's your host, Everett Jolly.
On today's show, I'm bringing back a returning guest, and I'll tell you what, I'm super excited to have him back on the show. He was on the show back in September of this year. We are talking no other than Pro-Dex, Inc. Let me give you a little backstory and some metrics on this company. In 2018, they did $22 million in revenue. In 2019, they did $27 million. Recently, they've had back-to-back quarters with $7 million plus. I think first time in the history of the company. You can find them on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol PDEX. And with us today is the president and CEO of the company, Mr. Rick Van Kirk. Rick, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Congratulations. I know in your eyes you might think that you're a little flat, but you know the consecutive quarters of 7 million plus, you got to be pretty ecstatic about that, yes?
Yeah, I'm very pleased. We're all very pleased. It's the second quarter in a row we've set a record for revenue, and we're all about trying to grow this thing, so it just allows us to continue to reinvest in the core business and keep things going in that regard.
So give my listeners and maybe your stockholders what your thoughts are on revenues and how you see things. I also saw there was not really a disconnect, but you have less shares in the float than you did previous before, which is a positive thing.
Yes, we like I said, we continue to focus on growing the business, and so we would expect revenue to continue to increase. I'm hoping this is not the last record quarter that we talk about in terms of revenue. In terms of the share float, we think in terms of buybacks and things like that, there's a couple things for shareholders. The people that sell, they get the benefit of being a supporter of Pro-Dex and hopefully make out well when they sell it, and then the shareholders remaining behind. You know, the math that you're smarter at than me, I think, will tell it that might help drive the share price up for the remaining shareholders. So we think it's kind of a good thing for everybody. That's my overly simplistic view of it, though.
Yeah, you guys are at a run rate right now. If you keep doing what you're doing for $28 million, I know you're going into your second quarter. Your first quarter just got over with. But with a market cap of $52 million, stock price in the high $12, I still think you guys are grossly undervalued here.
Thanks. I appreciate that. We do too. We continue to do what we think are the right things in terms of executing and working the business. You know, our philosophy has been not a lot of hoopla, but just hope that numbers and performance speak for themselves. It's worked out, you know, fairly well over the years. You know, we started this 5 years ago, and the stock price is in the low twos, and now it's come up quite a bit. But yeah, there's still probably some room to go. I would agree with you there.
You know, earlier in the year, we talked about you guys entering into a development contract to do a private label. That being said, where are we at in new product introductions, and how are they coming along?
They're going okay. You know, the large one that we've talked about before, you know, it's well into production. I've got finished goods, inventory on the shelf. The actual shipments have been delayed to marry up with some particular needs with the customer. It's kind of a good news, so news type thing. The good news is, you know, it's a big customer, very nice contract. We talked about it before. The more challenging part of it is that it's a Pro-Dex branded product, and to marry up with some of the complementary pieces out there, it's requiring some extra testing and some adjustments here and there that just takes a little bit longer than maybe the normal development process. So it's not a sign of any problems or failures, just that we're trying to marry up a couple pieces of a system with our product, and it just takes a little bit extra time in terms of testing and validating things like that. But it's okay.
You know what amazes me about your company and about your team over there, year over year and quarter over quarter, you guys just keep on growing, sequentially growth over there, but all of it's done domestically. That being said, when do you think, or when would you like for us to start penetrating maybe internationally? Well,
sooner rather than later. You know, we're fortunate that some of our customers have markets over there, and we may have touched on this in the past. There's just some little extra time involved now these days, I think, in terms of getting certain markings and approvals overseas, because some of the notified bodies are so backed up. I think it's happening to almost everybody in our business. So that's an issue. I think it's largely documentation, paperwork. Our products would work and play over there pretty well, and our customers want to ship and distribute there. It's just kind of working through a lot of it's red tape, but everyone's committed to do it, and everyone's just kind of waiting their turn to get their documents approved and start shipping product, I think.
Being a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company, what is your biggest focus right now going forward with the company?
My biggest focus is new product development, both the current products we have in play and new projects being brought in, whether for particular customers or internal Pro-Dex generated projects. I've made no secret that we've got aggressive growth plans, and kind of the neat thing about my job is I can involve myself in almost whatever I want to, and I choose to spend a lot of time in this area. I like to think I can help. One, it's my job to make sure they got the resources available for the projects we're working on, and two, I'd like to help just in terms of scheduling and pushing things through. I actually used to be a project manager way back in the day, and to help make sure we're doing things in parallel and looking ahead and doing the right things. We want to push these projects through, but have the patience to do a good job. You can imagine sometimes certain things just take a certain amount of time, whether it's testing or validating. It's almost like you bake a cake, right? You put all the ingredients in, and then it's got to go in the oven. It's got to bake for 45 minutes, and you can have 1 or 10 cooks in the oven. It's still going to bake for 45 minutes. So we got to make sure that we handle all the critical paths, get things done. So I like to dabble and help with that because it's really important. We want to grow this thing. We talked before, we've got a really big customer and maybe a customer concentration issue that concerns some people. So we really want to alleviate anyone's concerns about the company and what a good opportunity this is. And this is an area I think is really important to do all that.
Hey, before I go, let you go, Rick, I was looking at your 8K, and you did 324,000 more this particular quarter than you did this time last year in 2018, and you give a lot of that props to repair revenues up. Explain that to myself and my listeners.
That's actually a nice little success story for us. We've got a really large customer that it's a contract manufacturing project for us, and there's a lot of product in the field, and they came to us early in the year and said, Pro-Dex, you're doing about 30 to 40 repair units a month. Can you ramp up to 250? We've got some design issues. We want to clean some things up in the field. And we took the challenge and ramped up even more quickly than they anticipated. And obviously it's helped them a lot, and they're really pleased with the efforts. And so it's been a good thing for us, obviously, too, with the revenue. So it's a win-win. But it's like the second major ramp-up we've gone through with this customer. So we think we're doing a pretty good job of demonstrating that we can adapt and adjust and ramp up to customer needs. So we're pretty proud of that one.
Rick, before I let you go, I'll let you get the closing arguments here, our statements, if you will. What is it that you want your listeners, my listeners, and your stockholders to take away from the show today?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. I think the message is always we appreciate everyone's interest and support. We think that we're doing the things we need to do to keep the momentum and grow the business. Again, a lot of focus on new product development in terms of getting some more of our projects through into the actual production floor. And again, I'll harp again, we have a good culture. People are aligned from the board through every department of this company. We've got a shareholder meeting in about a week. If people want to come out and visit, we'd love to see you, and we can show you around and see what goes on around here. But we really appreciate this opportunity, Everett, and I'm starting to kind of ramble, so I'll cut it off. But we just get kind of excited about things here because we think things are kind of on a roll.
Rick Van Kirk's been my guest today. He's the CEO and president of Pro-Dex, Inc. Look him up. You can find him on the NASDAQ on the ticker symbol PDEX. Rick, I want to thank you for stopping by, coming on the show. Hopefully you'll come back on the show one more time before the year is out. I'm a big fan, always have been. You've been on my show now for about 3 years, and I wish you guys nothing but continued success out there.
I appreciate all that, and yes, obviously we'd be very happy to come back. Thank you very much.
This program is entirely sponsored and produced by La Jolla Media, LLC, which is responsible for the content. The opinions and information provided on this program are for educational and research purposes. Stock Day encourages all listeners of this program to do their due diligence and research when determining investment strategies that will work for them, or to seek the assistance of an investment professional.